before the 5-day weekend, this book, we would all have a 5-day work week. And prior to the 5-day work week, about 100 years ago, the 6-day work week was compulsory. Did you know that? The 6-day work week. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So basically, individuals were working 6 days a week. So it was a 48-hour work week. And then they realized, hold on here, if we only give the worker 1 day off, they're not going to spend the money they just made working the last 6 days. So how do you create an economy? How do you liberate the economy of your respective government? By giving the worker more leisure time. So it went from 6 days to 5 days. And the individual who engineered the 5-day work week from the 6-day work week was Henry Ford, because he realized by giving the worker more leisure time, they're going to spend their money, giving them justification to go back to work another 5 days to make more money.
So it keeps them a slave.
Giving the worker more leisure time, you're going to give them a reason, a justification to want to own an automotive. And what did Henry Ford do? He produced automotives, cars. See the agenda?
Yeah.
See, and here's the thing. That was around the birth of the Industrial Revolution and what have you too. But prior to the 6-day work week, I mean, 150 years ago, there was no such thing as a job. The whole phenomenon of a job, of a job, is really only about 120 years old. But 150 years ago, our great-grandparents weren't employees, they were entrepreneurs. They were out there doing it. They were working for themselves. They weren't reliant on the government or the system. But I find now with humanity, this tyranny of impoverished thinking over here, the law of diminishing intent, with the whole society is basically, they've got one single source of income as an employee. They're overly reliant on the government. It's called financial diabetes. They shot a government insulin, which is basically welfare and the pension over here. And where everybody's been conditioned to work Monday to Friday, you get put off for the weekend. You're counting down the days until your weekend. You're counting down the months until your next vacation, and you're counting down the years until you retire.
I just hear my granddad say to me now, as you were saying that, my granddad worked for himself. He was in his day. He was an entrepreneur, and he always worked for himself. And he was a Yorkshire man, and he always used to say, "There's no like working for yourself."
Yeah.
That's always what he used to say. There's now like working for yourself. He would never, ever. In fact, when he retired, he was that used to working. When he retired, he actually took a job. He was in business all his life, very successful. But then when he retired, he just wanted, he couldn't cope. He built a house for my grandma to live in. Towards the end of his working career, he had a guest house and he'd lived there. Then he sold that and he moved into the house with my nana, and he was so bored. He took a job as a taxi driver. He lasted about 2 months. I remember him saying, I can't work for anyone else. I can't have anyone telling me what to do, I
think a lot of it's also like, it's just, I think it's also like a, self-esteem and your belief system, but that's the reality. 150 years ago, there was no such thing as a job or a job. And even thousands of years, look, even 3,000, 4,000 years ago, people were entrepreneurs. Back then, it was called being a merchant.
Mm.
If your respective city, there wasn't much employment, you'll get on a boat or on a ship and go and trade and barter in the next port. But what happened? And unfortunately, there's this, of course, society has become brainwashed, and even like today, it's 2020. There's dumbification of the human populace, and I believe social media and reality television. There's some great opportunity with social media now and the internet, but I believe at the same time that there's dumbification of the human race. Civilization, we're becoming far more dumber.
Oh, okay, I get you. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said then. What would you like people to say about you when you're no longer here? What would you like your legacy to be?
Well, first of all, I plan to be around for a very, very long time. I'm now in the second third of my life before my expiry date. But for me, I just want to add value to individuals. It's like, it's more like just, if anyone's going to reflect who I am, it's like, well, I want to add value to as many people's lives as possible, kind of thing. Obviously, Look, I haven't added. Look, I've had many, many challenges in my life, and I wouldn't change one bit. You know, and there's so much more that I've yet to accomplish. I mean, I've been to 157 countries, but there were so many more experiences that I've yet to have. But obviously, it all comes down to your legacy. And once you've had a legacy, well, how can you shape other people's lives? How can you add value to what they're doing? You know, whether it's helping people build a business or a brand, or helping them like get out of a rut, or getting out of like a bad financial debt cycle, for example. You know, but you know, I'm that lighthouse. I want to illuminate. I want to be that beam of light to illuminate a path for someone to adhere to. You know, provide an illuminated path where they can learn from their lessons, then they can sort of pass on the love, the inspiration kind of thing. But it all comes down to 5 Fs: more fun, more friendly, more fulfillment, and more quality time with your family and your friends. And everything else is simply irrelevant, isn't it?
Okay. What experiences await you?
Wow. You know what? Here's the thing. Every day is an experience. I mean, I'm learning something new every day kind of thing, you know. But I love exploration. I love there's so much there in exploration that I just love. I love adventure. I love the outdoors. I love hiking. I love climbing. I love the mountains. I love the solitude of the deserts and the summits and whatever too. I love the ocean. You know, I mean, I treat each day as if it's my very last day. You know, I think if you were to put an expiry date on your life and approach it that particular way, you're going to accomplish more. You know, so once again, it's the mosaic, it's that kaleidoscope kind of thing. You're going to make life count. And you know, look, you know, a desert becomes a forest. A desert becomes a rainforest with the right gardener. And who's the best person to cultivate the soil, to enrich it, and to hydrate it? It's you. You know. But everything. I mean, never be overly reliant on anybody but yourself. That's the most important thing, you know. But go out there and never take life for granted. That's probably the most important thing. And you know, I think it's like if you've got parents, tell your parents every day, you know, that you love them. Give them a hug. And if there's an opportunity, for example, like for example, like my mother's 86. She's got an iPhone 10, and she's on WhatsApp, and she harasses me every day.
I was going to say she's still harassing you.
I love
but you love it. You love being harassed by your mom.
I'm the youngest born kind of thing, you know. But that's, you know, because, you know, she lives 15,000 miles away kind of thing. That's how we communicate every day. You know, and it's I feel like I see her every day. You know, just it takes a phone call. It just takes an effort, you know. But it also comes down to, like, you know, prioritizing things in life. You know, I mean, you know, and you know, being rich isn't simply just the physical side. It's being spiritually and being emotionally rich and being physically rich too, you know. But it all comes down to the experiences and, you know, whose life are you going to shape today? Whose life are you going to add value to today? Make it a goal. Make it part of a ritual on a daily basis kind of thing, you know. But it's exciting. That's what I love about life. Life is unpredictable, but you can manipulate it. But when I say manipulating it, it means you're able to have control over it. Because in life, there's only 2 things in life that I can't control, and that's weather and traffic. But I can warp time to my advantage. You can warp time. And there's ways how to warp time to your advantage.